more you want something, the more you're going to go out there and you're going to get it. You're going to do anything you can to get to where you need to be. Somebody can't give you that dog mentality, you got to have it. If you're ready to play some football and win, the University of Colorado is where it's at.
Hey, Buff Nation, and welcome to our National Signing Day show here at the University of Colorado. It's the day we meet a brand new generation of Buffaloes. We come to you from the Touchdown Club here at the Del Ward Center. I'm voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Nobody's got a bigger smile today than this guy here, the head coach of your Colorado Buffaloes, coming off his second season, signing his third class. We've got to talk about the uniqueness, though, of this third class. The head coach, Karl Dorrell. Are you like an expectant father today? How do you feel on National Signing Day?
I do feel that way in a lot of ways. But, yeah, it's a great day. And we had our staff that was here at 4:30 in the morning, waiting for the Eastern commits to sign. And, they've done a tremendous job with the whole process and, putting on this event. But it's an exciting day. These guys and these families that we've got a chance to cultivate and build relationships with, they're coming on board. They understand what's going on with our program, how we're moving forward. They're a big part of that. So there's a lot of excitement right now.
As we well know, recruiting the lifeblood of any program, of course. What's unique about this for Karl Dorrell, you think about this for a second. He just finished year number 2 on the field. This is the first time that Karl and his staff have gone out and actually recruited players. You think about it, got here late for year number 1, cobbled together a very good class. Last year was last year with COVID. You had to do it that way. This is the first time you've actually been able to go out and sit in someone's living room and have a conversation with them.
Absolutely, and that felt great, to be honest with you. We finished our season with the last game versus Utah. We played hard. I think we finished the game with a great effort and attitude in terms of what we need to go going forward. And then that allowed me that next day, that next evening, to get down to Atlanta and see some families and some of our commits. And it started in Atlanta and went through California, back to Texas, I've been in a lot of different places in the last 2 weeks. But, they're all excited. They all are excited about the brand of football that we're building here. They see it coming. They see where their roles are. And they're just great people. So it's a great class that has a lot of competitiveness, a lot of confidence in themselves. And they feel that they're going to make an impact early for us.
Did you have to kick the rust off the living room, sales pitch?
No, not really, because we let the facts of the matter really speak volumes for us. Okay. But I think what we've built here at Colorado is a great culture. It's about family. It's about doing things right. It's about being respectful for everybody that's involved with us, or the people that support us, our people that support us around the program that are in this building. It's about doing things the right way, and I think these guys that are coming in have the same type of core values that we've built in this foundation.
To that end, you talk about the culture that not only this program has had for a long time, but what you're building now after a couple of years. Did you find a very receptive ear when you went out there and sat down with young athletes and their parents?
We did, because it's really an extension of those family values that are in the home. And we've targeted players, student athletes that are like-minded about being very competitive, about understanding the work ethic and the training that's needed to be great. We expect a great effort both on and off the field, in the classroom and on the football field. We expect them to represent this university in a classy way. And the biggest thing is, with NIL going on lately and how that's so big in this college sports arena, is that, we have to give these guys that exposure that obviously benefits them in their careers, not only here at CU, but beyond. So there's a lot of really great things, a lot of great movements of things that are going on in our society right now. And I think this is something that's going to get more exposure, and there's going to be a positive for a lot of student athletes moving forward.
Karl, it's interesting. You go in and sit down, across the table from a 17, 18-year-old athlete. What does history play in terms of what this program has done? The fact that we've got a lot of Buffaloes in the National Football League, what's the value of that when you sit down and talk with a young player?
There's a lot of value in that. We talk about those eras of time in the 90s where, that was when I was last here on campus for a consistent amount of time. And so we do talk about those times of when it was great, when it was being very competitive, where we were in the national picture, and we know that we can get back there and do that again. So that's why this class is so unique, that they understand the culture and the tradition of this place. And they want to get it reestablished, and they want to put their name and their plaques on the wall about being part of that process. So it's really a special class.
Shall we start introducing them?
Sure. Let's get after it.
Let's do it. Let's start off. We start off with one of the big fellas up front. He's a local young man from right here in the metro area out of Cherokee Trail High School. Offensive tackle Travis Gray, 6'7", 295. Tell us about this big fella.
I tell you what, does that sound NFL prototype
no
right
doubt
there?
about it.
I mean, this is one of our great in-state commits. You know, he is kind of the ringleader of this class. He's the best communicator about keeping this class focused on what his purpose is. But look at this guy as a player. He plays left tackle. He's a natural-born left tackle. He's a very good athlete. He's just learning the game. He's a legacy player of one of our former alums here in our football program, and we just feel like, why not start the class with a guy like him? He's so competitive. He loves this school. He knows what this is all about, and we think he's got a chance to have a very, very bright future.
When you've got somebody who is a legacy Buff, and by the way, we're going to have that conversation a couple of times here today. When you got somebody who's got history here in this program, does that make it easier or harder to recruit somebody?
I think it makes it easier because he's going to be the ringleader. He's going to understand, from what he's learned from his dad playing, what it took for them to win a national championship, what type of players that were in that team. And so I think that he's going to be one of those guys that echoes that sentiment throughout our locker room.
That's obviously an area of need for the Colorado Buffaloes. When you look at this young man, and one thing you do when you recruit, you're always you're projecting to see what they look like. And I love the fact, by the way, and there was a time not that long ago where you bring in a young man, and he was 6'3", 240, we were told he's going to grow into it. He's got the frame right off the top, doesn't he? When you project him out, what do you see?
I see a guy that's a tremendous framed athlete, that he's such a tremendous worker. He's a self-starter. He does a lot of things on his own. I think his progress that he's made is because of his personal investment in the game of football and his techniques and stuff like that. He'll come here to Colorado, which he starts in January. He's going to be a mid-year guy for us. He knows there's a chance for him to compete and be part of our depth in his first year. So his mindset is to come in here and help this team be successful.
The value as well of keeping a Colorado kid here at the flagship institution.
I think that's a huge value because he's one of our best players in state. I know that we haven't had a chance to be out of state. Be out on the road recruiting and being in living rooms and stuff like that. And we're glad that we have a couple of guys in this class that are two of the best players in state. We would love to have this number be about 5 to 10 guys if we can. Yeah. But that just shows me that we have to continue to cultivate our coaches and our players in state. We got to continue to have a great product in what we do on Saturdays, and we think we can get this thing turned around.
Well, a good-looking offensive lineman, Travis Gray. Now let's go to the wide receivers. We're looking at a trifecta of them. In fact, we're going to be getting into Chase Sowell and Jordan Tyson and Grant Page are 3 guys we got to get to. Before that, though, Travis Gray's parents have got a very special message for him.
Hey, Travis, Mom and Dad, we want you to know that we're extremely proud of you, of all your hard work and all your dedication and all your focus. You knew where you wanted to go, and as soon as you got the opportunity, you stepped up, and we're so very proud of you, your entire family, your brother Trace, your grandma, your grandpas, your aunts, uncles, everybody is so extremely proud of you, son. Now it's time for you to go out and make yourself proud of yourself. So we're all behind you, your entire village. We love you, and congratulations.
Congratulations. Go Buffs.
I think that's something a lot of times we forget about. We always talk about the student athlete. We talk about the coaches and the position guys. We forget about mom and dad. What a great day this is for them.
Oh shoot, they're just as excited. In a lot of cases, more excited than their sons. And we want our parents and our players that are coming in our program. They're all part of it. It's our family. So we're excited about these parents that are going to be now part of us. And obviously, you can see the Gray family. They're Buffs, through and through, being legacy parents. But they're extremely proud of what Travis has done.
All right, so we look forward to Travis Gray now that he's a Colorado Buffalo getting to campus. And as Carl just said, he's going to get here for the second semester and get a jump on his career for the Colorado Buffaloes. Now let's start talking wide receivers. So we got 3 good-looking young men here. Holy cow, are they big players. Let's start out with Chase Sowell. Tell us about him, 6'3".
6'3". Chase was a guy that we've watched towards the end of this recruiting cycle in the fall. He's from Texas. He's a tremendous athlete, a really good baseball player and football player. He hasn't been playing receiver all that much in his short football career, but you're going to see here on tape now, tremendous athlete, very good body control, good ball skills, runs well. He was here visiting with us last week. His parents are former athletes themselves. His dad was a baseball player, played for the University of Florida, so
That was a good looking route right there.
He's a very unique talent. He's good stride length. You can see him go over people and make plays. You can see without even changing his stride at all. He's going to be a fabulous player for us.
He's a good-looking player, another big-bodied wide receiver. Are you purposely going out and trying to find 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" guys?
I am. I use that. When I coach receivers as a position coach, I wanted guys taller than me. So that was one of the things that was one of my prerequisites. So all these guys that are in this class are taller than me. So I'm barely right under 6 foot. These guys are over 6 foot.
Well, the one thing you see with him right there, I mean, he goes up and meets the football, and that's a great skill for a wide receiver.
And that's not an easy skill to teach. He does it naturally. He goes up at the high point, takes it over a guy's helmet. He's got great length. He has tremendous upside. He's only been playing receiver just for a handful of years, and he's got a chance to be a dynamic player for us.
How did you seal him away from playing baseball?
We went in there and convinced the family. I think Reggie Moore did a great job for us. Reggie's from Houston. Reggie's one of our coaches on our staff, and he has some contacts down there, and I think that was very helpful in the process. But when we brought the family up here and they got a chance to meet us as coaches in our program and the things that we do here, they fell in love with it. So it was a very fast transition that worked out well for us.
All right, let's stay at wide receiver. We'll stay in the state of Texas. Next up is Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, 6'2", 180 from Allen High School in Allen, Texas. Tell us about him.
Jordan, he's our earliest commit that we had. He came and visited in the summertime, from Texas, goes to Allen High School. Very, very dynamic player. He's a guy that he's not quite as tall as Chase, but he has the ability with his quickness and body control to perform like a smaller type receiver and play big like a bigger type receiver. So he's a great kind of in between both. But you can see him down here. He has very good body control. He can hold off at the corner. He can make these acrobatic catches. He went deep into the playoffs. I think they went to the semifinals in the state of Texas. If you guys are from the state of Texas, that's like 5 or 6 rounds of playing playoff games before you get to that point. And they almost got to the finals, but he's a very good player. You can see there the little subtle hint. He runs by a corner. Very smooth runner. We think he has, again, all of these guys that are in this class have tremendous upside. I'm just excited that we got a chance to get him in our program.
And I know it's the OBJ effect, but all those one-handed catches, we see all these receivers, you want to keep him doing that when he gets here? Or?
As long as he doesn't drop him, I'm okay. Yeah. But I know that Reggie and the guys that teach him on the offensive side of the ball, we're going to always try to teach the proper training techniques. Sure. But sometimes if you're talented enough to do that and some corner's holding one of your hands back and you can catch it with the other, I'm good with that.
Carl, we know back in the day when Mac was here and all of the players that were taken out of the state of Texas, is that a point of emphasis for you in this program?
It is a point of emphasis for us because other than our in-state recruits, we want to have presence in the state of Texas. I think with what's on our calendar in terms of our football schedule, we're going to play a Texas school every year.
Sure. And
I know with the ACC and the Alliance and all the things that are going on there, we just want that exposure and to play in the state of Texas. And really, that's what Coach Mack has done in his career was to have a good, I would say footprint in Texas of guys that can really be difference makers for us. And you know who those guys were, like Alfred Williams and Canavis McGee and so on and so forth. So we're just trying to do the same thing and try to enhance it and also to teach why they've been so successful here in Colorado, the Texas kids. And we get like 30% of our program is from Texas.
Well, from Jordan Tyson, we stay with wide receiver. We saved a little money on the budget for recruiting on this next one. Had to drive about 5 or 6 miles down the road here at Fairview High School. It's Grant Page, wide receiver, 6'3", 190 from right here in Boulder.
Really excited about Grant. We've known of Grant since I've been here, and I know he's right in our backyard, but thank goodness that was a great, great get for us, and we're excited for him to come and join us. He was on the top of our board when we were recruiting him at the very beginning of the season. And obviously, he's dealing with a little bit of an injury, had surgery, and he's now in the recovery mode of coming back. But, he's one of those guys one of the best players in our state. Good player, very athletic, good basketball player as well, great ball skills. You can see him as an athlete. But like I said, all these guys that you guys are seeing here are all taller than me. I love that they're all taller than me, big athletes that have range. So we feel like the future of the receiver position is going to be really, really taken care of.
So what you're saying is you want to be the smallest guy in the huddle all the time, right?
All the
staring
time.
Up at everybody.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll look up every time.
He's his head coach probably helped you a little bit with his recruitment, didn't he?
Yeah, T-Mac did a great job, and obviously he's run that program. He's had a great program at Fairview for such a long period of time. He's been there and is really one of the best coaches in our state. So he's being well coached.
Yep.
There's players in that program every year. So we're excited that we got one from our own backyard, to come to us, and hopefully that starts the whole process of building a better Colorado class in the future.
Love that. Keeping those Colorado kids at home when they're the best recruits in the state. All right, we transition now from looking at the 3 wide receivers. We got another big body here, and he is a good-looking player. Let's talk about Carter Edwards, offensive tackle, 6'5", 280, out of Presbyterian Christian in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Boy, he looks the part.
He does, and Carter it's funny. He and Travis Gray, both of them have been on this campus probably a handful of times over the course of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And they came out from Hattiesburg, Mississippi 3 or 4 times in the course of the season, went to games, and obviously had an official visit. He loved the campus, loved this environment. He's a very, very special player. He's a right tackle, very talented guy that can play a number of positions in the offensive line. We like him at tackle because that's really where we're thin at. But you'll see here, very aggressive player, very, very intelligent player here. He's an aeronautical engineering major. That was another big piece to his recruitment. He loved our engineering program, and he felt that we were the best in the country at what we do or what he needs. So it's a great fit. Family's been awesome, and we're excited about him being part of our bookend tackles that are in this class.
Well, obviously, if he's got that as his academic interest, there's a reason you want to come to the University of Colorado. But outside of that, going down to Mississippi and pulling a player out all the way up here?
I know. They did their homework, and like I said, they've been up here, like I said, a handful of times over the course of the season on their own, just to come to games, watch, see how we're doing. He understands where we're at. He's one of those guys, just like Travis we talked about earlier. He knows that he can impact us right away, so he's working his butt off to do that.
So you got 3 wide receivers, 2 offensive linemen. Let's go ahead and hear from Carter Edwards.
Hi, I'm Carter. I play football at PCS in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I'm a right tackle, and I'll be coming to CU in the fall of 2022. I picked Colorado because of the community, and you'll have a very good aerospace engineering school. Whenever I went on my official visit, the first thing that we did was go visit y'all's new aerospace engineering building. Aerospace engineering is working on spaceships and sometimes planes. I've always loved math, and whenever I was young, I used to watch a TV show called How the Universe Works, and that just got me in love with space.
All right, there's offensive line recruit Carter Edwards coming from Mississippi to become a Colorado Buffalo. Now we now shift gears here on our National Letter of Intent Signing Day show at the University of Colorado. Talk tight ends. Brian Cook, the tight ends coach, joining us. So we get to talk about Zach Courtney, 6'6", 235, out of Post High School in Post, Texas. Tell us about this young man.
He's a large human being.
Yeah? How we like that?
235 is easy on him. He's a big fella. He does a lot down there. He's a 3-sport athlete. Couldn't be more excited to bring him into the program. This year for the Antelopes, he played defensive end. He blocked the punt, blocked field goals, scored touchdowns. And so we're thrilled. He's a great kid, hard worker.
The position of tight end is kind of a changing position the last decade or so. You got guys, you think about traditionally, they're great blockers, maybe an extension of the offensive line. Some guys, were able to catch the ball. They're really becoming more athletic guys, aren't they, over the course of time?
They are. He's kind of throwback.
Is he really?
Yeah. When he was here on his visit, he's a Texas kid, so I made a reference to Jay Novacek and Jay's 3-point stance, and he kind of looked at me sideways. But
Didn't know you were talking about.
We looked at his stance and Jay's, and thought we could work with something there. He's a big kid that can play in the C gap, but he really does some good things in the pass game too. He's got good hands and feel for space. He's a basketball kid. He's a kid that can dunk it, in basketball, so he's got some versatility.
Those kind of guys, that's becoming more and more common. We're hearing a lot of guys who were basketball players become football players. when you have that sports combination, it kind of adds something to their footwork and athleticism, doesn't it?
It sure does, and he's got explosiveness too. He's a discus. Was in the state championship for discus last year as a junior, so he will definitely compete for the state title in discus this year too.
All right. You like having guys that are multi-sport athletes?
Oh, for sure.
In a day and age in which it seems like everybody specializes, you enjoy that?
For sure. He didn't rest a beat. He got done with his high school football season. A year ago, they made it to the state championship. This year, they fell short, and so he jumped right into basketball, and then it's track, and then I'm going to get him ready to play for the Buffs next fall.
I love it. Yeah. Ryan, congratulations on getting him signed.
All right.
Thank you. Tight end coach Brian Cook. We're now going to shift gears and start talking about a quarterback in this year's class. Now, his father, you probably heard of Josh McCown, played 18 years in the National Football League. Before we talk about Cade, we're going to hear from Josh.
Hey, what's up, Buff Nation? This is Josh McCown, and I'm sitting here in my office, and we have a lot of jerseys on the wall here, but we're adding a special one today when my son Owen signs with the Colorado Buffaloes. We are so proud of him and so thankful to Coach Carl Durrell and his staff for recruiting Owen. This Strictly Business 2022 class is going to be special and a huge piece in what Coach Carl Durrell is building there in Boulder. We look forward to watching them compete for Pac-12 championships and national titles. As my boy Brandon McCartney likes to say, we are wired, fired, and inspired. Let's go Buffaloes. Go Buffs.
I think if you're quoting Brandon McCartney, you have just endeared yourself to Buff Nation out there. That is outstanding. A day doesn't go by. We don't have a game here in Colorado where Brandon doesn't give me a shout out and go, Mark, I'm wired and fired and inspired, just like his grandfather. Outstanding. We welcome in the quarterback coach, Danny Langsdorf, and start talking about Owen McCown. Now, as mentioned, his father played for a long time. Owen, 6'2", 175 out of Rusk High School in Rusk, Texas. Danny, what kind of quarterback are you getting there?
He is exciting. He's a really good athlete. He's got a nice arm. He's accurate. He's smart. We're very excited. He's been with us for months now.
Right?
He committed a long time ago, and we've just kind of held on to him. But we're very excited about him.
When you've got a father who has played the game like his dad did for nearly 2 decades in the NFL, his parents obviously know what's going on. They know what questions to ask about offense and those kind of things. Talk about the process of recruiting a young man like that.
Yeah, it was kind of an interview with his dad.
I bet.
They came out last spring, and we had quite a few meetings, just in terms of talking football. And I think that was exciting to me because just interacting with Owen and Josh, I mean, we're talking intelligent guys, know a lot about the game. A lot of good questions about what we do. So, it's been a good relationship.
Well, we heard from Josh. Now let's go ahead and hear from the young man that's going to put on the Buffs uniform, Owen McCown.
Hello, my name is Owen McCown. I play quarterback. I'm from Rusk, Texas, and I plan on joining the Buffs in the summer of 22. On the sidelines of MetLife Stadium pregame, the 2015 season, I met Coach Durrell the first time. And then just after that, now to this point, we reminded of the thing, and my dad has told me ever since that Coach Durrell's a great man, and just somebody I'd really want to play for and enjoy playing for. Hearing from my dad about Coach Durrell and just the type of man he is, and not only as a football coach, but like I said, as a man. And I think Colorado offered everything I was looking for. It just, fits my type of offense that we were looking for, and then good academics and this beautiful, beautiful campus and a place to live. Somebody I really look up to is obviously my dad. I think just the way he prepares for stuff, even outside of football, and the amount of detail he really puts into things is something I really try to take in. And then just how tough he is. It's toughness watching him, on the field. If he gets hit, he's hard playing through and stuff like that. I think it's something that really, really me and my brother try to take in. I'm an ultra competitor. I think I compete in everything, and I give it my all the time. Won't ever quit, and just super competitive guy. Go Buffs!
Yeah, strictly business in 2022. There's Owen McCown. Maybe one more question for you, Danny, about a quarterback like that. Obviously, as you say, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. I'm sure he's got a lot of the same skill set and size that his father had. Does this translate over, though, that understanding of what it takes to be a quarterback?
Yeah, that was the biggest thing that I took from meeting with them was how smart he is. He's been around it so much, great conversations with his dad about the game and how to study, how to prepare. Just like he's talking about, his dad is done a great job preparing himself for games, and he's really taught his son that too, and his little brother. You know, they're a football family, and you can tell that just meeting with them.
All right, yeah, the football's in the blood, no doubt. Well, congratulations on signing on.
Thank you.
All right, Danny Langsdorff, quarterback coach here at the University of Colorado, on the signing of Owen McCown. You know, one thing I've learned over 18 seasons of calling the Buffaloes, when you talk to the alums, the great players who have come through there, they will all tell you about the day they made their decision to become a Buffalo and how it was the best decision of their lives. One of them, an All-American, and our good friend Chad Brown talking about his decision to become a Colorado Buffalo.
Signing day is a very special day. You know, you've put in this work, and your family has guided you in this process to this point, and now you get to sign on the dotted line. When Coach McCartney came to my parents' home and presented the vision for me as a Colorado Buffalo, that was it. I was sold, my parents were sold, I was going to be a Colorado Buffalo. Coach McCartney talked about, Chad, you are going to become a Colorado Buffalo linebacker. There's a great tradition of linebackers, the Colorado Buffaloes. You will add to that tradition. You'll become an all Big 8 performer, and then you'll be an All-American. We will go from Big 8 champions to national champions during your time as a Colorado Buffalo. It all came true, just as he said it would. And to go there and know I was going to be a part of building something like that. Again, not joining in to a program that was already successful, but to be a part of building something where I was going to be a building block. I knew that I was signing my name to a special contract and going to a special school.
Well, the more guys that you can get to look like Chad Brown and play like Chad Brown, the better off your program is. A great, great Colorado Buffalo, 15 years in the National Football League, of course, was an All-American for Colorado. Brian Michalowski, outside linebackers coach, joining us. He just sits down here a moment ago. The next guy we're talking about is Owen Carey. He's out of Texas, and he says, this kid reminds me of Chad Brown. That's a pretty high praise right there. Outside linebackers, 6'3", 230 pounds, out of Bakersfield, California. Tell us about this guy.
Yeah, he's a very versatile outside linebacker prospect, which is why he reminds me of a player like Chad Brown. But he's from Bakersfield, but he ended up down at Mater Dei High School. He's a young man that really believes in himself, really bets on himself, and we saw that with him too. We were one of the early schools to identify him in the process. I think that belief that we gave to him early on was something that allowed us to get him in the end. You see, he's that was for Mater Dei, that first clip, but this is Bakersfield. This was the tape that we evaluated him off of in the COVID year.
Okay.
And he's active. He went down there to Mater Dei. He helped them win a championship. They're one of the top teams in the country. You see, when he's around the ball gets out. And good things happen when you're around the ball. So he's going to be a good one for us.
They went 17-0 over the past 2 years. When you say, and by the way, he had committed to Texas, and then about a week ago or so decided he wanted to think about it and becomes a Colorado Buffalo. So great to see that happen. When you say he reminds you of Chad Brown, what are the attributes you're talking about there?
Well, I think he could play a lot of different spots, just like Chad did in his career. And he also has a great mindset. And so there's a lot of development that can happen with Owen. So I think his best football is ahead of him.
All right. And even though when you see his name, it is Eoghan. It is Owen Carey.
That's an Irish spelling there.
All right. That can throw you for a loop every once in a while. All right. We'll stay with another linebacker. Let's talk about Aubrey Smith. We want to talk about him and get your thoughts on him.
Okay.
6'3", 2. Oh, I beg your pardon. I got to the wrong guy. Caden Ludwig. I jumped to the inside linebackers there. Let's say on the outside where you coach. Mark was going, wait a minute, he's my guy.
Right.
All right, talk about Caden Ludwig. Tell me about him.
Caden is a big 6'5", 235 outside linebacker, edge prospect out of Portland, Oregon. He's at Clackamas High School. He's a big physical edge player. he really fits what we want to do defensively on the edge, which is rush, crush, and close. And he embodies that when you watch him play. So just a huge upside with him. He was a player that was able to come out when the dead period opened. He was out here June 1st, which really speaks about his desire to check out Colorado, and he's been back 2 times since. Okay. Watched us get a win against Washington, and then also came up on an official visit in December. So he's another guy that that teams want to run away from him because he's really active on the edge, and you definitely don't want to leave him unblocked because he'll make plays there, and you certainly don't want to run. I believe this is a bootleg. You don't want to run a bootleg in a Caden Ludwig.
Run right into him. 6'5", 245 out of Clackamas High School in Oregon. How'd you find him up in Oregon?
We had a lot of time during COVID to watch film. So
you weren't going anywhere, right?
Yeah, we did a really good job of evaluating his sophomore tape, and us collectively as a coaching staff saw potential in him, and we were one of his early offers.
Caden Ludwig, good-looking player. In fact, let's go ahead and hear right now from the future Buffalo.
To you because of honestly the place, the town's awesome. I really love to be outdoors, and I think it's a really good spot for me all around. And the actual atmosphere of going to games, it was surreal. It was an awesome feeling, and I really do feel love there from the coaching staff and all the people around. It was, it really felt like home. My relationship with Coach B. Mike has been awesome since the first time I met him. I think it was my sophomore year. He started recruiting me, and ever since then, I'd say we've been pretty good friends, as well as, he's taught me a lot, even just over the phone, and coming down there to actually see, all the coaches, and especially Coach Mike was awesome, because talked on the phone for so long and finally actually getting to meet with him and communicate with him, it definitely felt real, and he felt like he wanted me to be here as much as I wanted to be there.
Caden Ludwig, outside linebacker for the Colorado Buffaloes. Now, I jumped ahead here, and Mark was going to jump on stage and pull that inside linebacker back inside after I gave him away to the outside guys. Mark Smith joining us. Let's talk about Aubrey Smith, inside linebacker, 6'3", 215 out of Buford High School in Atlanta, Georgia. I know you like this guy a lot, don't you?
I'm crazy about him.
Yeah.
I know, and this young man is special. And I told you when we were sitting down earlier, if you like punishing, physical, instinctive,
which we do,
downhill linebackers, this is the guy. So, Aubrey has all of that in one package, and he's just a special person, and he's got a great family, and he's a winner. This guy's done nothing but win in his high school career, and we love guys that are used to winning because that's what we're going to do here.
Boy, to your point, Buford went 41-3 and won 3 straight state championships over the last 3 years. Okay, take us through some of the tape here.
Yeah, just look at the instincts right there that he has. He can diagnose plays. When we had him here on his official visit, we get him on the board. This young man understands football. You see him dropping into coverage right there. When he gets to you, he's going to put his hat on you, and he's going to do it in a forceful way, and that's what we love. He is the modern-day linebacker. You see him use his hands right there with great block destruction. He can play physical downhill in the box. He can also be out in space and cover, and that's what you need now. You're playing teams that try to spread you out sideline to sideline. And Aubrey fits those things in a dynamic modern-day linebacker.
We've just been blessed the last 4 years to watch Nate Lamb, a guy that was able to diagnose things, and the importance of not only having the physical skill, but also the mental aptitude as well.
There's no question, and that's what we see in Aubrey as well. He's got those characteristics. Obviously, Nate did that for a long time at a high level here. That's what we're hoping that we get out of Aubrey and all the guys that we're recruiting.
How did you go down there and steal him out of the middle of SEC country like
I know, and he had a lot of offers. This guy was highly recruited. Victor Venn did a great job assisting in this. We had both of them from the same high school, so it's wonderful to have that and the connections that are there. And a lot of it comes down to the relationships that you build over time, and then you get them on campus. And you know this, when you get them here on campus, this is a beautiful place, and there's so much to offer at this university. So Aubrey and his family saw that, and we're thrilled to have him as a Buffalo.
Love it. In fact, let's go ahead and hear from Aubrey Smith right now.
My name is Aubrey Smith. I am a linebacker at Beaver High School, and I will be enrolling in June. Me and Coach Smith, we are best buds, and also me and Coach Wilson and then Coach Darrell as well. Me and him, we have a great relationship together. We can talk about anything, really. It could be like football, like sports, anything like going down like in like life or anything like that. I feel like I can treat him kind of like a third dad, really. I'm always the center of attention, and I will always brighten up your day, no matter what you're going through.
Well, great to hear from Aubrey Smith, and you get excited about those guys when you hear those coaches make comparisons like that and tell you what kind of players they are. Another Buffalo that signs here in 2022. Chris Reiner joining us now, the special teams coach here at the University of Colorado, and time to talk some specialists. Ashton Logan, a punter place kicker, 6'2", 195, out of Orange Lutheran in Anaheim Hills, California. Chris, what do we got here?
Really excited about Ashton. Ashton's been committed to us for 16 months now.
Wow.
He graduated high school June of last year. We have him on a gray shirt, so delayed in his enrollment. He'll be here next month. He's really excited to get here. Really excited about what he does. Fits what we're looking for. Great. We're going to speak specialist right now, right?
Yep.
Great hand to foot time. Great hang time. He can locate the football.
Okay.
All things that we look for.
We're not sure what any of that means, but it sounds awesome.
It's exciting to be a specialist. He does what we're looking for. We've got some great guys on the outside who do a great job, and he can flip the field for us and control the field position in a football game. It's a weapon to have.
When you've got a guy like that's got a great leg, and you list him here as a punter, place kicker, how do you determine where he ends up on that, or do you just wait for him to determine that?
Competition.
Right?
Whoever's the best is going to play. So he can come in and punt. We'll see what he can do as a kickoff guy. We'll see what he can do as a potential place kicker or backup place kicker, whatever they can do. The more that these guys can do and cross-train, it's better for them. In the long haul, it's better for us. But he's got talent. He's well-trained. Worked with a guy named Aaron Perez, who Coach Darrell coached back at UCLA. So we know what we're getting, and we're really excited about it.
Obviously, anytime you get a special like that, they've got to have a big leg. I mean, that's going to be a prerequisite. You also look for guys that are mentally tough because of what that position is?
When I started recruiting Ashton, I had him read a book called The Inner Game of Tennis. And it really meshed well with him and his process towards the game. It's critically important, especially for those guys, because you're isolated. You operate on an island. To have that mental fortitude to be able to, it's always the next play, right? It's always the next kick. You focus on your process more than you do your result. But I really like him. His technique sets him up for success. He's highly consistent. He sends tape in. He looks like a robot sometimes because everything is always the same.
Nice.
But he's on schedule. He can control where the football is going. He's got a very bright future.
All right. Well, congratulations on getting him. All right, Chris Reinhardt joining us, special teams coach here at the University of Colorado with Ashton Logan. Right now, I talked about some of the great Buffaloes. We've got maybe the greatest Buffalo of all time was quarterback, of course, Darian Hagan, and now and for a long time has been on the staff here at the University of Colorado. Recently, he was on a recruiting trip back in Southern California in Los Angeles, and we tagged along as he kind of went down memory lane in L.A.
Trying to find players, huh? And I'm headed back over to the hood to see the peeps before we got to finish up recruiting. Headed to South Central LA, and when I come out here, I like to do a little sightseeing. I drive by the high school and I see things and it looks different. Drive around the neighborhood. So right on my left, this is Conference Junior High School. That was the auditorium right there. This is the main offices right here. Okay, Samuel Conference Junior High School, home of the Bulldogs. Back then, growing up, being 7th, 8th, 9th grader, you thought it was big because you wasn't as tall as big. I've gotten to be 6 foot now. I wish I was 6 foot. And this is Locke High School, home of the Mighty Saints. It's some good times, man. And now when I come home, my mom's not here anymore with us, so I make sure that I stop and see my aunt and visit with her and have a good time with them. So that's what I'm doing right now, pulling up at my auntie's yard, and we're gonna sit here and have a little powwow as a family. What's going on, bro? How you doing? I'm good. Yeah. What's up, homeboy? You doing good?
How you doing?
All right. How you doing?
Good. Can't complain.
We're in Los Angeles, California, South Central. I've been here about 54, 55 years, and I've never had a problem. Wherever I go, I'm mama.
He's my blood cousin, but to me, like my brother. He been here all his life. This is where he been living and raised right here.
Oh, he was a good kid, super kid, never had any problems. Liked to play sports. He got in little mischievous stuff, and I'd have to tap him every now and then, but he was basically a good kid.
Man, you know what? I've had a lot of great players in my coaching career, man, and I had to rank Derek among the top.
Matter of fact, he started playing football a year earlier than he should have. We told a story about his age, but he was so good, so strong and bad that we went on and put him up in there, and he's been excelling ever since then.
He could do it all. He was a quarterback, safety, corner, ran punch, ran kickoff back.
Yeah, he been getting recruited since he was in Pawana. When I tell you he was good, he excelled on every level when it came to football. Put the ball in his hand, he get the job done.
We ran the option, and Tommy Osborne used to be the coach at Nebraska, and he got a chance to see Darren on film. And from that point on, he started getting a ton of letters from all different schools from all over.
Oklahoma, Nebraska, Colorado, I mean, you name it, they were here in my living room.
I think that the school that showed most interest was University of Colorado.
I heard about Darian. He was a really highly recruited young man. I of course evaluated him very high. I didn't know that we would have any kind of a chance to get him.
When I was getting recruited by Colorado, back then it wasn't any cell phones. So when schools had to come by the house, they would always stop right here.
And there was an outside payphone, so I went to call Darian. And I'm on the phone with him, dialing his number, trying to get hold of him, and a car drives by and fires 3 shots over my head.
Coach Barnett is on the phone, and I guess he gets on a knee and he falls down to the ground, and Coach McCartney yells at him, "Come on, Barney, get up, we gotta go." So me and my uncle, we drove down the street and we came and escorted him back into my neighborhood, and the rest is history, but it started right here with the phone call from them, the drive-by shooting.
I can't remember now what Coach McCarthy told him, but something about wearing the red and coming back to the neighborhood. That did it. So God knows best, and he ended up where it was the best thing that could have ever happened.
I knew if he got a shot, he was gonna do well.
There he is, Darian Hagan.
The first game I watched him play, I was kind of skeptical because the difference so small. But man, could he run that option?
In my opinion, Darian Hagan made Colorado what it is today. He was maybe the single biggest, most important person other than Bill McCartney. I had the opportunity to coach him from the time he walked in until the time he left. I had him all those years. And when I came back as the head coach, I could not think of anybody that I would want more than Darian Hagan being around my players and being around young players coming in.
Now that he's coaching football, and for him to come back into the inner city to get the kids opportunities and chances, it's huge. It means a lot, especially when you was raised and born around here and you make it well, you do well in your life, and you come back to try to give everybody, other people's kids an opportunity.
We have a lot of gang violence in this community. And believe it or not, a lot of kids doesn't get out. They don't make it out. And at the time, sports was the only way a lot of kids could see that they could get out of the community. And once Derek got latched on to football at Locke High School, he just took off.
He came to Colorado, fell in love with it, and here he is, still today coaching.
In order to get the things you want, you got to work hard for it. In order to get the things you want, you got to make, good decisions and do really good things and have the people in the community proud. So it wasn't just about Darian Hagan and his family. It was about my community, my friends, and everything about South Central LA. It wasn't just about me. It was an avenue to put South Central in a positive light, and to this day, I don't take that lightly.
Well, that was a great piece there on Darian Hagan, who joins us right now. 6 feet tall, huh? You're not 6 feet standing on the stage right now.
Still wishing.
And I didn't, I've only known you for 18 years. I didn't know you had hair before. Yeah.
Thing was sharp, wasn't it?
What do you look back and watch that and think about, see some of the clips and some of the highlights, and you think about that young man who was 18 years old or 17, whatever you were right there, and now you're sitting here today. What comes to your mind? What do you think about?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I look at it, looking at that film, but then sitting here today, it says a lot, because I wasn't supposed to be, have made it out of LA.
Sure.
I was supposed to be a statistic. And to be able to sit here and, get back there and recruit kids and still be alive and doing the things that I'm doing, it's a blessing from above.
There is power in that message, the fact that you can walk into a home where a young man maybe reminds you of you when you were there, coming from a similar environment.
Right.
And there's great power in that message for you, isn't there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It means a lot to me.
Yeah.
To give a kid a break, give a kid an opportunity is special.
What did Mac do that got you to come here?
Well, if I would have went to Nebraska, I would have been wearing red.
Yeah.
And in my neighborhood, red was a no-no.
Right.
So I knew if I chose to go to Nebraska, I would probably get chased every time I came home. I couldn't wear the red. So when I came on my visit to Colorado and find out they were black and gold, I decided to come here because black and gold is a neutral color.
Sure. Yeah. We heard those comments from Gary Barnett there, and did Gary ever speak that highly or nicely about you back when you were playing?
Absolutely not.
I bet not.
I think he forgot, But no, Coach Barnett was really him and Coach Mack were the reasons why I chose Colorado. Yeah. Those two guys they sat in my living room and and convinced my mom, my significant people who I really depend on. When they convinced him, it was a done deal. And along with Rick George, those three powerful people.
I bet you have never, not one day since then, have regretted making the decision to become a Buffalo, have you?
Not one time.
Yeah.
I would do it all over again if I could be reincarnated.
We wish, we wish you could be reincarnated, so we'd have you out there at the age of 19 once again. All right, let's start talking about the running backs here at the University of Colorado. Victor Venn. Tell us about this young man, a brand new running back for the Buffaloes.
Victor Venn is a very special athlete. He's super talented. He's really, really fast. He's a 10 for 100 meter. He's a guy that, I met him probably almost 2 years ago. I was recruiting another kid from his school and ran across Victor, and, we just had a really good bond. But this guy's going to do some special things, for the Buffs. Once he gets the ball in his hands, you can get it to him in different, positions. He's going to do some really good things. I'm fired up about him and fired up about his potential.
When you look at him, he's 5'10", 175. You mentioned out of Buford, Georgia. Buford compiled a 51-6 record during his 4 years, 3 state championships there in Georgia. Great speed, great vision. Tell me about what you see from a skill standpoint.
Well, he can do it all. He has really good hips, really good hands. Like you said, he got really good vision. I think the kid, the sky's the limit for him. The reason why Victor is so special is because him and I share the same blood.
Okay.
His family and my family are from Nimba in Liberia.
Okay.
I'm just joking.
Oh, you are? All right. Not that I'm gullible, but I believe in whatever you tell me, I mean, You're Darian Hagan, for goodness sake. I'm not questioning you.
No, but one night I was up and I was on Twitter.
Okay.
And I was changing my profile picture, and I seen this flag on there, and all I seen was a flag, a star, and I just thought it was a second flag, U.S. flag.
Sure.
And I put it on my Twitter. The next day, his dad calls me and said they want to commit. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're from Liberia, just like us. What city? I was like, whatever city you from. And that's how we got him.
You know what? The old line, sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good, right?
Absolutely.
You mistakenly identified a flag. Next thing you know, you've got a running back. Turns out phenomenal. You know, I'm just looking at the numbers that they gave us here on him. I mentioned what they had done over the last 3 years, but this past season, senior year, 135 rushes, 957 yards, 10 touchdowns. Buford went 14-1 and won the 6A state championship there in the state of Georgia. In fact, let's go ahead and hear right now from Victor Venn.
My name is Victor Venn. I play running back. I'm from Buford High School, and I will be attending CU in the fall of 2022. The reason why I chose CU is because I love the environment. It's a great environment. I love the coaching staff. The coaches, they're really genuine when we talked, and the relationships that we built while I was there. I love Folsom Field. I love the fans. I love everything about CU and the opportunity to compete amongst some great athletes in a great conference. My favorite thing at the visit was hanging out at Pasta J's with the coaching staff and my family. We had some great conversations, and it just made me develop more of my love for CU even more. And I also enjoyed hanging out with Jared Broussard. We had some great conversations as well, and he showed me around the campus and the hill. I'm most excited about getting the chance to play amongst some great athletes in a great conference and compete at a high level and just be coached by some wonderful coaches in this coaching staff and just fit into the offense and try to impact CU the best way I can. I want Buff Nation to know that I'm always bring that energy and that excitement to my game. And I'm going to make sure that I try to perform and put on a show for Buff Nation. Let's go Buffs.
There he is, Victor Venn, the newest running back for the Colorado Buffaloes, as we continue a national signing show here at the Touchdown Club at the University of Colorado. We continue here with running backs coach Darian Hagan. All right, young man like that. First off, how did you go down to Georgia and steal him out of SEC country like that?
Well,
besides the flag issue, I mean, which you already covered.
Well, it was a little bit of luck, but we recruit position, recruit, and he's a national kid, so you go and recruit where you need to go to get the best, and that's what we did.
So he's walking into a running back's room that is very talented and deep right now.
Right.
He understands about the idea of competition, right?
Yes, he thrives on that.
Love it. Love it. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
We want to see that hair back by the time the season gets underway.
You got implant money?
The great Darian Hagan joining us. By the way, we mentioned Buford and Victor Venn. Aubrey Smith, who we talked about already. We're going to hear from their head coach. They were teammates there at Buford High School.
Good morning. This is Coach Appling at Buford High School. I just wanted to come to you real quick and talk to you about two of our integral players on our three-time state championship team. They're signed up with you guys this morning, Victor Venn and Aubrey Smith. A little bit of mixture between these two. Victor's a 3-year starter at running back for us, kind of our lightning in the backfield the last 2 years, and really helped us, make big plays in the offensive, game this year. And Aubrey just coming into his own on the defensive side of the ball, 3-year starter as well, playing inside backer for us, taking care of business as far as being an enforcer on that side of the ball. You're getting two great guys, two great players, and even better so, great men. They're going to represent your program just like they've represented our program the last 3 years in a positive way, and I can't be more proud of these two, and you're getting two good ones.
The head coach from Buford High School, Aubrey Smith and Victor Venn, getting two new Buffaloes, and both of them, we went through the numbers, know what it's like to win. They've won a lot in high school. You hope you bring those kind of aptitude here to the University of Colorado. Defensive coordinator Chris Wilson joining us here for a couple of minutes here. Yeah. You feeling good about what you guys done on the defensive side?
We do.
Yeah?
We feel great about the class and the versatility that it has. We
really answered a lot of key questions to this class, and it upgraded our roster.
How do you sit here now today after the season is over and have a chance to look back on what that defense was able to accomplish this past season? I know there are obviously areas that you wished you could have been better in.
Absolutely.
But overall, how do you view what you did defensively?
Well, I like a lot of things they did. I was actually up this morning watching some of the self-scouts. And when we're good, we're really good. The alternative, though, is when we're bad, we're really bad. So, we had a chance to focus on some of those things, and these guys fill a lot of those needs that we have going forward.
All right, let's talk about a new defensive lineman. Chris, as well as being the defensive coordinator, is the D-line coach as well. Aaron Austin is a brand new Buffalo. Tell us about Aaron Austin.
Well, first of all, Aaron Austin is a kid that I call a 3-down player. He has a lot of position flexibility. He'll probably start out for us as a strong side defensive end. And for you folks who may or may not know what that is, it's kind of like where Terrence Lane plays in that position. But he also has enough athleticism to go play inside when we're in some of our third down or passing situations. So I'm really excited about him. The biggest thing I love about him more is just his ability to rush the passer. He's got a lot of ability to really win with a speed rush, but he has the athleticism to counter and go to a second move. So he's going to be fun to watch.
They list him at 6'2", 250 out of Fort Worth, Texas. You can kind of talk us through where do you see him kind of fitting in the line, and tell us what you see here.
Similar to where he's playing in this location at our strong side and our close side. Okay. Again, on first down, he has the ability to really anchor at the point of attack. He's got strength, and he comes from a really, really great program in a competitive league. He also power lifts. So when you watch this guy play, not only can he win one-on-ones, he can finish. And that's key at that position, a guy who has the ability to finish on the quarterback.
When you project him out, he's listed at 250 right now. Is he a 300-pound guy? Is he a 275?
He's probably going to be around a 285 guy. Okay. And usually at this age, the guy's not done growing yet.
Right.
But he's got great length. He's got a trunk that can carry more weight. So I'm really excited about what he brings to this group.
I love this day, and when he around his football staff, guys are walking around, they got a smile just pasted on their face, right?
Oh, well, you should.
Everyone's feeling good.
You get to do this for a living.
Exactly right. Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you so much.
Here at the University of Colorado, we're celebrating this 2022 class here. Strictly Business 2022 as the slogan has been, and we look forward to what they do here at Colorado. Now, when you look back at the history of this great program, that 1987 class set the foundation for what turned out to be a phenomenal run by Bill McCartney and the Colorado Buffaloes, which led, of course, to the 1990 National Championship. Right now here on our National Signing Day show at the Del Ward Center, we look back at 1987. Greatness in football is not an individual accomplishment. Championships are not won by any single player. Greatness is achieved by teamwork. In 1987, the Colorado Buffaloes recruiting class exemplified greatness and changed the course of CU football forever. Small in size, just 12 members, the 87 class was the catalyst to transform the program into a national powerhouse. They proved to the college football world what is possible when you stick together. 3 Big 8 championships, a national championship, and as a result, individual accolades that still dominate the CU record books some 3 decades later.
We the national champions and no more winning condition for me.
The all-time sack leader and Butkus Award winner. The all-time leading rusher. All conference players. All-Americans. Hall of Famers. And a Hall of Fame coach whose leadership took all those threads and wove them into a championship masterpiece. The 1987 class will forever be remembered for achieving greatness. Well, you think about the foundation 1987 laid here at the University of Colorado, the greatness that followed when Bill McCartney and that staff. Rick George, athletic director, joining us. We're going to see a clip of Rick back in the day, by the way, when he had more hair as well. Seems to be a common theme for everyone we bring up here. They had more hair in the clips we show you from back in the 80s. So help us out here. With 87, you came in And for your first class that you were responsible for recruiting was 88, correct?
Correct, but
Yeah.
I came in with the 87 class. I recruited them all to go to Illinois, and they all came here. So that shows you what a good recruiter I was.
Oh, well, you did a heck of a job recruiting for Illinois, ultimately Colorado.
That's right.
Yeah. What do you think about that 87 class that you came in with, and then what you stacked on top of that 1988? I mean, the foundation, the talent level, Rick, was ridiculous back then when you think about it.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, if you think about that class, you had Joel Steed, Alfred Williams, Canavis McGee in that same class. And you talk about building a foundation, you win football games up front, both offensively and defensively, and to have that. And then the following year, you bring in a Chad Brown, a Greg Beekert, Deion Figures. I mean, just a lot of talent in those classes. But to have a good program long-term, you got to have successive classes back.
Anytime you bring in a recruiting class, you're hopeful, all right? Everyone loves a recruiting class. Did you have any concept of the level of potential that was coming in?
I mean, we knew they were good, but we didn't know they were that good. And if you think of the classes that we lined up, every one of those classes had first-round draft picks at multiple positions, and we had a lot of success. I mean, we were the team that was on every Saturday at 3:30 in the afternoon on CBS because we had that kind of success, and you got to have that kind of exposure back in those days, and now today it's a little bit different with social media.
Speaking of which, let's go ahead and take a look at that clip, by the way, of Rick George. What was this, 1988 or 89? Let's go ahead and look at a young Rick George.
Thanks very much. Of course, the immediate beneficiary of today's game are the players involved. But it could go a long way to determining the success of Colorado's football future. To talk about that with us is Rick George, the CU recruiting coordinator. And Rick, what does this type of game mean to the job that you have to do?
Well, it helps us quite a bit because once we leave Colorado, we have to go 1,000 miles to recruit our next player, and the exposure that we get and the hype and all those things really have a tremendous impact on what we're doing. And it's had a big impact on what we've done in the state this year. The prospects in the state are excited about us. They see Buff Mania all over the place, and it's an exciting time for us.
Rick, I know that a little later on you will be walking around glued to a cell phone, and you'll be calling recruits during the game. Is that right?
Yeah, but I don't call them unless there's a timeout because I don't want to miss any of the game. But, yeah, we'll call some recruits today and say hello and let them know that even though we're in the biggest game of our life, we're still thinking about them.
And check to make sure they're watching.
Absolutely. If they're not watching, something's wrong.
Could this game have a major impact on recruiting this year, do you think?
Well, I don't know if this game so much as the success of the season. We've had tremendous success, have been on national TV twice already, and I think the exposure that we've gotten to this point, and this game certainly is going to add to that, but when we go to the bowl game, that's going to be a big deal too.
Okay, Rick, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the game, and best of luck to the Buffs this afternoon.
Thanks, Brian.
That's Rick George, the CU recruiting coordinator.
Boy, how about that good-looking fellow right there? Man, oh man!
Sounds like I was an old country boy back then too.
But you've become much more.
My voice, I kind of grew into my voice.
Right,
Yeah,
I think so.
a little different.
The process back then was a little different. Speaking of being different, right? In
Yeah, and
terms
it
of
wasn't a
recruiting?
cell phone; it was a box phone. Just so everybody knows, it was about this big and it fit in a shoebox. But
You were either calling a recruit or calling in military help. One of the two. It was one of those big monster phones.
Both. That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, back in the day. Amazing. Back then, what you were selling then and what Colonel Durrell and his staff are selling now. How do you think things have changed over all those years?
Well, I think what's changed is obviously the social media, piece of it has changed quite a bit.
Sure.
We were able to show them the beauty of Colorado through the CBS Sports every Saturday. So we didn't quite have, the social media that you could send content like we are able to send in this day. But we were really relevant. I mean, we were on national TV every Saturday and, having that kind of exposure, we were very creative in recruiting. I think we're selling the same things that they are today. We've got an incredible institution with great academics. We live in the most beautiful community. We've got the most iconic backdrop in all of college sports through Folsom Field. We've got great coaches here, just like we did back in the day. We're in a really good conference that we can win. And so I think there's a lot of similarities. I think the techniques are a little bit different. I used to get writer's cramp from handwritten notes, and they don't do as many of those these days as we used to, but you can still outwork them in recruiting.
How about in today's day and age now? You got Colonel Durrell, and I know you're behind Colonel 100%. How do you aid him and his staff in the process of recruiting at this point?
give them the support that they need. I think that's most important, and how we can get to recruits and multiple recruits on a given day. And, Carl's time out on the road is a little more limited, obviously, than the assistant coaches. So being able to get him to point A to point B in a timely fashion is really helpful.
All right. Well, fun stuff. Love the hair back.
Great stuff. I love signing day.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, the new Buffaloes here. Well, congratulations. You deserve that as well today.
Yeah, well, it's all about the coaches, and it's all about our student athletes.
Let's hear it for Rick George. We're going to bring up Demetrius Martin as well. We'll go ahead and let you give the microphone to Coach Meat, because it's time to bring up the quarterbacks coach for the Colorado Buffaloes. We're going to start talking about the guys in the back end of the defense. We got three good ones to talk about right here. Meat, good to see you. Let's talk about the first one. Keyshawn Mills. Tell us about Keyshawn Mills.
Keyshawn Mills, fluid, smooth athlete, is versatile, has a little bit of position flexibility.
Okay.
One thing about Keyshawn that's interesting is found him in the state of Arizona. Got the chance to go home and watch my son play in a 7-on-7 tournament.
Nice.
And there's Keyshawn Mills. He pops up. So one of the big things is getting on him early and finishing the deal with him today.
Keyshawn Mills, 6'1", 190, out of Little Elm High School, Little Elm, Texas. Kind of talk us through some of the video we're looking at right here.
Oh, yeah. You get to see some of the position flexibility with him lining up in the slot and then motioning, being in the outside corner, having really good ball skills, never panicking at the moment of truth. And he plays with a competitive chip on his shoulder, something that I really like, especially out there on the island. You got to have that. So here it is at the moment of truth right here, looking up, finding the ball, coming down with an interception. We all like interceptions, right?
Sure, no doubt about that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, when you've got a guy that plays that position, well, what's the? You got to be athletes, obviously. What's the number one thing you're looking for in a corner?
One of the things that I look for that might be uncanny with a lot of other secondary coaches, I look for contact courage.
Okay.
I mean, no matter how
contact courage. That's a great line.
Yeah, contact.
They want
courage.
to tackle.
Yeah, you got to
All
want
right.
to tackle.
All right.
That's something that you got to want to do out there, because these receivers and stuff, they are on scholarship. These quarterbacks throw the ball through keyholes in the door.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to be in a situation to make some tackles.
Well, he's the newest quarterback for the Colorado Buffaloes. Let's go ahead and take a look at Keyshawn Mills.
Hi, my name is Keyshawn Mills, Little Elm High School, DB, corner. I'll be enrolling fall 2022. I picked CU because I felt like it was the best for me. And me and Coach Me have like a very good relationship from when he's like started recruiting me and texting, and made me like feel comfortable. And when I went down to the visit, it was nice. Fell in love with the campus and the view. I'm on my game out there, Jalen Ramsey. And why? Because like I feel like I use the same technique as him. Like I watch the videos of him like before games, and I like use like similar techniques and like I train it.
There is Keyshawn Mills as we go from one quarter to the next. Now it's time for Simeon Harris, cornerback, 6 foot 175, out of Vallejo, California. 6 foot 175. Tell us about Simeon Harris.
Well, you gotta love it. 6 foot corners.
Yeah.
Long
Second
length.
one, by the way.
Second one.
Yeah.
Second one. That got long length. A lot of position flexibility again with Simeon. He's the guy that could play a little safety. He could play a little slot nickel. He could play corner, obviously. Also has some good clips at receiver we'll see coming up here. Has an athletic confidence that's kind of contagious.
Okay.
Getting to watch him play live and in person, seeing how he led his troops, led his teammates from out there in the corners, kind of a hard thing to do because you're on the island and you're trying to help run the defense. Is hard from the outside. Nobody really listens to you.
Sure.
So that guy made sure people listened to him, and he was a sight to see.
He is also a track guy, league champion in the 400 meters. Like you said, he played corner and wide receiver. How do you determine which side of the ball he's going to play in college?
It's easy. On defense, you get to get a defensive call and go hunt the ball. Offense, you got to depend on too many other people.
Right. I thought maybe it was a wrestling match between you and the offensive staff or something.
Well, maybe in the red zone I'll give him up, something like that.
but he's got plenty of athleticism as well. And you play that position, you got to have a very short memory, don't you? He's got that?
Very short memory. He's a locked-in kid. Like I said, he's cool, calm, collected. He has that athletic confidence where he knows it's a next play mentality.
Simeon Harris out of Vallejo, California. Always good to go into the state of California and to pick up another athlete. Let's go ahead and hear from this young man.
My name is Simeon Harris, cornerback from Benicia High School, and I will be attending CU in June. I chose CU because the environment and the relationship I built with the coaches, and it always been a dream of mine to come to a big Power 5 school like CU and talking with Coach Darrell and about what he's building, really, I took that to heart with my decision. And everyone, I'll just buy in with it and everything like that. The relationship with Coach Meat was really tight, a tight bond. Talks to me like family. We can call each other on the phone anytime and just chat it up for, an hour or so. You know what I'm saying? He really is a down-to-earth type of coach. And even when I came to the camp in June, being coached by him really took part in my decision to join the football team with CU. So the relationship with Coach Meat is it's a tight relationship, and that's why. Yeah. My favorite thing from the official visit is CU winning that game, being in the student section. Students ain't give up hope. It was a hard-fought game. And just seeing the smiles on the coaches' faces after coming out with a victory like that really put a smile on my face. And when we got into the locker room, it was music. All the players was dancing. Just to see a young team feel good and confident about themselves, how they fought all the way to the end and came out with a victory, and seeing the coaches excited with the players and everything, that was real amazing.
Quarterback Simeon Harris from out in California is going to join the Colorado Buffaloes. You hear a young man talk about those kind of things, says something about him. I mean, you kind of get the sense, a lot of times, we've heard from some of the great Buffaloes talking about wanting to come in here and be on the front end to help build something. You kind of get the sense he's got that same mindset.
Yes, he has that mindset, and that's what we want to build our program around, with guys that want to come out and make it happen.
Love it. All right, there's Simeon Harris. The next one, another cornerback, Joshua Wiggins, 6'1", 180, out of Klein Oak High School in Spring, Texas. Tell about him.
Yeah, Josh, natural knack. I call him the natural knack. He's a natural knack kind of kid. Off press, he finds a way to be real sticky in coverage. So he's a guy that, has that confidence, has a pedigree, being his brother plays for JSU with Deion Sanders and things such like that. He just got an offer from there. So Deion, stay in your lane. I got the better one right now.
Take us through the tape here. Tell us what you see.
Again, a guy that possesses great ability to close the distance and within coverage, whether in press or off. He's a guy that's really confident and plays the ball well in the air. Never really panics at the moment of truth. You can see he go up and get the ball at the highest point or find a way to disrupt the pass. Some of those natural knack things like what he has are hard to teach and are hard to develop once a guy get up here.
He's another guy that ran track and field, by the way, long jump, 4x100 meter, 4x200 meter relays. That's always important as well. The stuff I read about him leading up to National Signing Day, he's got a little swagger to him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he got a little swag. We like that on the island.
Yeah.
The more swag, the better.
No doubt about it. When Carl was up here, we were talking about those 6'2", 6'3" wide receivers. You got to have 6 foot, 6'1" corners now in this day and age, don't you?
Yep, got to be able to go up and compete and jump up for the high ball.
Yeah, good stuff there. Let's go ahead and hear right now from Joshua Wiggins.
Hi, my name is Joshua Wiggins. I play cornerback. I go to Klein Oak High School, and I'll be enrolling at Colorado in 2022. I chose CU because of the culture of the whole team, the family, and the coaching staff and everybody around. And the scenery is one part too, but everything around was family-wise, and I loved everything about it. Some of my favorite things that happened on my official was when we all got together for dinner and saw the family. Like, it brought me in, like, showed me that they really care about everybody and that they really wanted me there, and y'all really wanted me there. And yeah, I'm most excited about, first, is getting a degree and playing football with some of the best players in college football, of course, and getting to grow up. Something I want Buff Nation to know about me is that I'm coming there to be the best player I could be, and that we're going to win the championship.
That's what you like to hear right there. Joshua Wiggins, cornerback for the Colorado Buffaloes, as we continue here from the Dale Ward Center on our National Signing Day show here for the Colorado football program, the third class for Carl Durrell and his staff. Right now, Brett Maxey joining us, safety coach, and we're going to shift over to the safeties. Dylan Dixon is the first safety we talk about. 6'2", 190 out of Pearland High School in Houston, Texas. Brett, tell us about Dylan Dixon.
Oh, Dylan is a very productive player in high school. He played like 30. He had 30 career starts while he was at Pearland. A lot of tackles, over 200 tackles, 8 interceptions, very productive, very physical, high football IQ. One thing you need to know about him, he's a fisherman in his off time.
Well, he's got to be a good guy then, yeah. Tell us about, take us through the tape here. What do you see?
Like I said, he's very physical. He runs to the ball, has really good ball skills. He does play some receiver too. He plays some receiver on offense.
All right.
This year he played a little outside linebacker because he is a good blitzer. Very physical, high effort guy. I watched him play live during the bye week.
Okay.
And he jumped over the shield of the punt team.
Really?
And he got up, he got flipped. And I told him, I said, don't ever do that again. You get hurt.
Right. Yeah, leave that in the high school football field, right?
Absolutely.
He's got some athleticism in the family. His dad, Damon, and all 3 of his brothers were college athletes? Is that
all
right?
3 of his brothers were college athletes, and I think one of them runs a camp.
Okay.
Yeah, he runs a flag football camp.
Okay, so Dylan Dixon out of Houston, Texas. One of the 2 safeties we're going to talk about as we continue here with Brett Maxey. Now we go to Xavier Smith, 6'2", 185, out of Langston Hughes in Atlanta, Georgia. Tell us about Xavier Smith.
Xavier Smith is a former quarterback. He started his career in high school as a quarterback. He made the transition to safety. He's been very productive, 6 interceptions. As a quarterback, he threw for over 1,700 yards, 20 touchdowns.
Wow.
He was very, very, very productive.
You better hold on to him tightly on the defensive side, by the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. He has a very high football IQ, very competitive, coming from the, quarterback position. Kind of reminds me of myself when I played quarterback and had to make the transition to safety.
Okay.
One of the things that he's really, really good at is zone coverage. Here you see that he's playing a sail technique where he's a curl flat defender. His angle of departure was very high, and he's going to force the quarterback to throw it down to the check down. But the quarterback took a chance and threw it on the 7 route. Has very good interception skills. Go up and high point it. He's a true athlete. He's a really good athlete. Very good body control when he goes up and high points the ball. And then lastly, the run after catch.
Yeah.
He has really good run after catch skills.
You talked to him having a high football IQ. This young man graduated, by the way, early from high school with 2 associate degrees as well. And here's another little tidbit for you. He played Buford, where Victor Venn and Aubrey Smith were, in the state championship, and lost to them.
That's correct, by 1 point.
By 1 point.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can bury the hatchet before they get here on campus, right?
They've done that already.
They've already done that?
It's already done.
Well, fantastic. Good-looking safety as well. Let's go ahead and hear right now from Xavier Smith.
My name's Xavier Smith from Atlanta, Georgia, from Langston Hughes High School, and I play safety. Well, I chose CU because, I have a great relationship with the coaches, specifically Coach Maxey, and just from talking to him throughout, his time from recruiting me is like, you can get real personal with him. And I feel like we have a great relationship. And then before even taking my official visit, I had CU up high on my board, and I really just had to see it. So, honestly, I didn't know what to expect because I had never been, that far out west. So, once I was on campus and I saw how beautiful everything was, and I met the rest of the coaches, and, I just feel like CU is on the rise as far as, the program, building the program, and I really want to, contribute to that.
Now we meet one of the newest safeties here at the University of Colorado as we come back here to the Del Ward Center, the Touchdown Club, for a National Signing Day show. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. I think you know who this guy is right here. Now, we always bring up the assistant coaches, and for a long time, and we talk about having legends on a stage, a great player, a phenomenal, legendary coach who has come back now as the character coach here at the University of Colorado, and you seem to be enjoying yourself a little bit in your new role.
I think I'm living a dream.
Are you? Explain to folks what you get a chance to do, what you're doing with. It's not just the football guys you're involved with. I see you over at basketball all the time as well.
Right. And I've been given charge over all sports. And really, it's a mentor.
Okay.
But I've got to develop relationships with each one of them
right.
before they can begin to trust me.
So ultimately, character coach. I mean, you're talking about. Talking to kids about life and making good decisions, and take us through kind of what your goal is with this.
Well, the biggest thing that I do is I watch interactions between players and players, coaches and players, and then I can find opportunity to step in and point out some things.
Well, the reason we brought Brian up here, even though he's not a position coach right now per se, is that the last young man we're going to talk about is Okie Salave'a. So you've got history with his dad, and the fact that, we've had a couple of guys who've been legacy guys we've talked about. He is an athlete, a quarterback, a safety, comes out of American Samoa, 6'4", 220. You're already getting emotional thinking about this young man, aren't you?
I got emotional when they said his papers were here. So, Okie Salave'a, God bless him.
Yeah.
And Coach Bill McCartney talks about pedigree.
Yeah.
And pedigree, Okie's got pedigree. He's got the size, he's got the ability. I love him.
Yeah. What do you remember about his father?
I'm sorry?
What do you remember about Oakland, his father?
Well, Oakland was a guy that had to work really hard to do what he did. But there were other circumstances that is not natural for college-age kids to have to deal with.
Yeah.
And so my respect for Oakland is what he had to deal with, not just culturally coming here, but also the things that he had to endure with his teammate Sal and Nessie.
Yeah. Yeah, they were very close.
They were very close.
Yeah. So when you see Okie signing the dotted line, becoming a Buffalo, it's got to just warm your heart, I would think.
It does. I mean, talk about, in Samoa, they talk about fa'a Samoa, the Samoan way.
Mm-hmm.
And the Samoan way is faith, family, and football. So you're getting a whole package.
Wow.
When this kid comes here, and I can't wait.
It's funny you said it. One day, Brian and I were standing in the practice field. I think it was this last fall, and you and I got talking about that very thing. I said, "What is it about the Polynesian culture that produces so many unbelievably tough athletes that come in and have fantastic success?"
Well, I can tell you, in American Samoa, it's nothing but toughness.
Is that right?
And so. No, the culture allows and anyway, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
but it's a very it's a very physical culture.
Sure, right.
And the game they just love contact. They love the physical part of the game.
Yeah. You're going to enjoy watching every snap of this young man during his career, aren't you?
I am. Amen.
Let's hear it for Brian Cabral. We're going to release Brian, and Coach Carl Durrell is going to come up here and kind of put his finishing touches on the class here today. Before we kind of talk about things overall, we mentioned that Okie's an athlete and a quarterback and a safety. Are you guys going to, arm wrestling matches to figure out where he ends up, or how are you going to figure that out?
Like Brian alluded to, he's so excited to be here and be part of this program, and he's a great athlete. You saw him play quarterback, and he has a great arm. You saw him play safety. You can see he blocks punts, he blocks field goals. He's done a number of things in high school. And he just wants to find a way to get on this football field, which is a great attitude. We're going to give him a shot at quarterback, but he feels if that doesn't work out, put me in wherever you need me, coach. And that's a great testament to his upbringing and his attitude coming in here.
The top player coming out of American Samoa, Okie Salave'a. Now we've got another legacy Buff on board. All right, we're nearing the end of the show. You look back at the board here, boy, and it's filled up on both sides. How you feeling about things?
I feel great. It's a good place to be at this point in time. You know, we have a second signing date in February.
Yeah.
And so recruiting's not over. You know, we still have a number of pieces to continue to build in this class. There's still a lot of great players out there. The best thing is that you mentioned it earlier on the show. This is the first time in 2 years as a staff we've been out.
Right.
And we get a chance to get our eyes on people and meet coaches and meet players and, you know, kind of look at them eye to eye and, you know, try to figure out a little bit about their personalities, things like that. So all of those things are really critically important in the process. And, you know, this is what this staff does. They do a great job of really evaluating the talent. We cross-check everything. And we still got a few pieces to go, but we like where we're at with this part.
Colonel, the landscape of college football has changed so dramatically with the transfer portal. How does that change what you're trying to do from a recruiting standpoint?
It doesn't really change. If anything, there's additions, right?
Okay.
There's a high school recruiting that you have to deal with, which is really the lifeblood of what we are, is recruiting the high school level kids. You know, there's always those needs of players that you're trying to gain an experienced player from the portal at a position of need. That's always something that we'll continue to try to work for and do. And this was a very active year in the portal this year, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of players that still are in the portal. There's going to be some after this signing date, quite frankly, are going to jump in the portal after this signing date. So we feel like there's going to be plenty of players to evaluate, to get our staff to see some kids and really build this class to be a great class.
One thing I would think, when you've got a very veteran football team, when you bring a group of freshmen in, there may be a guy or two that has an opportunity. You've got a very young football team. So I would have to think a lot of these guys are looking at this and saying, we got a chance to come in and be part of something right away and contribute right away, correct?
That's what we've kind of sold them on, and not only the family values and the cultures we're building here, but the opportunity to come in and compete. And, you know, we're a program, we play the best players. You know, I'm going to play the best players. We got a great academic support service program that we try to get our guys graduated in 3.5, 4 years. So some may redshirt and some may not, but you know, these young men that are behind me on the board here, they're about competition and putting themselves out there to help this football team be successful. So we're excited about how they're going to push the envelope, so to speak, with the rest of the team that's here. But we got to keep building and adding to the talent level where we are. And like you've heard a number of these guys in here, they said that, you know, we're here to win championships.
Yeah.
We're here to be the best in this conference. So we want to make sure that mindset continually festers throughout this football team about being that type of team.
You know, another thing that I know you got going, because there was a time when National Signing Day happened, you'd sign a class, you'd catch your breath. Now you can't do that because, like you said, there's another signing day coming up in February. You got spots to fill on your staff as well. You got a very busy schedule ahead of you.
Yes, it's busy, but that's my job, and that's something that we know that's part of the job. And you know, we feel like we got some great candidates that we're building a staff with, that we're going to work out and continue to do some interviewing. But along those lines, we still have to fill out the rest of this class here, this 22 class that's coming in, and you know, so it's a busy time, but it's a very important time, and it's a time that we all are excited about and enjoying because we're actually out seeing families and seeing players face to face.
Coming off 2021, you're entering your third year. You've got a great group of supporters back right here at the Touchdown Club. You got all kinds of folks around the country, around the world watching our show here today. Yeah. What's your message as you get ready for 2022 for Buff Nation out there?
You know, it's a great message, and you guys are seeing it, and hopefully you're feeling where the progress is coming as a program. And, you know, there's a lot of energy, a lot of infusion of young talent that's coming into this program. It's set to do great things, and we got a great foundation. Our team played hard this year. Obviously, it was challenging in terms of wins and losses, but I love the effort of how this team finished the season. And they're excited about the offseason. You know, usually at this point in time, they're not talking about the offseason. They want to break from football, but these guys all left today after finals saying, you know, I can't wait to get back to start this process of, you know, of the 22 season. So their mindset's right. You know, the talent and the players that we're bringing into this program is the right type of guys. So I think we're going to be a year better, obviously more experienced, more developed, stronger, bigger, faster, all those things. And this definitely, we're in the right direction. We're heading in the right direction. So please be excited about what the process is, because I know our players are, And, we just need that belief in you just as much as we believe in ourselves as a program, that we're on the right track to doing some great things.
Love it. Well, I know that he's a happy man today. He'll enjoy that here for about an hour and then jump right back into recruiting. Congratulations on a job well done.
I appreciate it. It was a great show, Mark.
Thanks.
Always appreciate all the time we get a chance to spend time together.
You bet. There he is. That's head coach Carl Durrell.
Thank you.
He and the Buffaloes put together 2022. We want to thank all of Buff Nation for joining us here on our National Signing Day show. We're going to send you out with a guy that in recent years, I'm not sure anybody's had more passion for this program than Philip Lindsay. And on the way out, as we wrap up our show here from the Dal Ward Center, we're going to hear Phil talking about being a Buffalo and why any recruit out there should want to be a Buffalo. We'll talk to you next time.
Inside the 5, and Lindsay leads forward down to the 1. He's in. Touchdown, Colorado. And they'll give it to Lindsay. He cruises in for a touchdown.
So I grew up in Denver, Colorado, born and raised. I ended up playing ball at Denver South. I actually got offered by University of Colorado. Coach Bieniemy, who coaches for the Chiefs, he's the one that kind of got me excited to go to the University of Colorado. It was in my own backyard. I had the opportunity for my parents to be able to watch me play, and I didn't have to go too far from home, so everything was comfortable. I wanted to help me build a program. I wanted to be a part of something special. When the papers came in, the fax machine for me to sign my letter of intent, it was very emotional, very exciting that I got to play college ball in my home state. I know for a fact that that was the right move. Looking at me now and how it's taught me about life and becoming a young man. When you want something as bad as you truly want to, and you love the game and you love what comes with it, you're going to give everything you got. And what that means is no matter what, it's taking care of your body. It's finding ways to help yourself be a better person. Set those goals and go with it. My best friend was Chido Bear-Woozier, who plays with the Bengals. We grinded with each other. We pushed each other. We were not going to be denied having success in college.
Lindsay! Touchdown, Colorado!
We kept on pushing each other, and if he did something better, I wanted to be even better than him. So, it just kept us motivated, and it showed on the field.
A Pac-12 South Division title and a trip to the Pac-12 championship game.
The players that got recruited with me, that signed their letter of intent, we all stuck together. We ended up, our junior and senior year, we ended up having the greatest moments of our life. And a lot of them end up going to the next level because of that.
The Dallas Cowboys select defensive back from Colorado,
And we stuck together though. We worked hard, we grind. We were just dogs. The opportunity that you young men are going to have starting when you sign that letter of intent is going to be magical. If you guys stick together, you guys are going to do some pretty amazing things. You guys may have some ups and downs, and that's life, and that's what's going to build character with you. But I'm telling you, if you guys stick together, you guys enjoy each other, enjoy being in this atmosphere, this college situation, you guys are going to have the greatest moments of your life, man.
Spins into the clear, inside the 20. Rice has it. Touchdown, Colorado. And Wells is going to have a pick six.
Make no mistake, man. If you're ready to play some football and win and try to go for a national championship, the University of Colorado is where it's at. Go out there, be dedicated, blood, sweat, and tears, fight for your brother next to you, and everything will go your way. Go Buffs.